Hey y'all, Erica from Wallace House Designs here, and tonight we are painting the Patriotic Ladybug for our free virtual paint party. Y'all ready to get into it? I'm so excited! Okay, so if you caught the first part, then you know we had a little technical difficulty and we resolved it. The technical difficulty was we locked ourselves out of the house. So we're just little warm, but we're good. So now that everything's back to normal, I'm a couple minutes early from when I said I was gonna start it again, but everybody's good, so that's good. Good. I'm fine, we're all fine, right? So if you're just hopping on, I was just talking about how we kind of locked ourselves out of the house, and so I couldn't just leave my family to just fend for themselves. So that was fun. But we did get back in the house, no big deal. We used a little ingenuity. We didn't have no key, because I'm not one to do a hide a key or anything like that. Like, now I'm kind of like, maybe that should be a thing. Hey Maria, how are you? Maria, you notice a little something? You notice us? All right, so let's get this party started now that we're all and calm, cool, collected. We're good, right? We're good. All right, so this has happened before. It happens, right? So tonight, and I might be a little flustered, and that's okay, because that was a big thing, right? Love them on you. I love them. I've worn them so many times. I got so many compliments at, where was it? The grocery store. That's the place. The place with food. That place, right? Okay, so I love your hair. Well, thank you, Nancy. Thank you. Actually, like, I washed it this morning, and I was like, this is clean. You know how clean it, like, I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I did it. Hey, Carlene, I love your earrings. Thank you, Maria Martinez, that is here live with us tonight. She painted them, hand painted them. I sent her, I want serape, but I want them in my brand colors, so I could wear them so they match my backdrop, and I can wear them with all my purple, and she did a magnificent job. Look at you. No, look at you, boo. Look at you, Lauren. How are you? Okay, so Julie's here, and Lauren's here, and Amira's here. No, it's Amira. It's Amira. We talked about this, right? It's Amira. All right, girls. Okay, so let's get this party started. I'm going to get my replay going. I just needed to breathe for a second, because that was kind of, that got my heart racing, right? And that's not fun with a toddler. Let's just say high stress situations are not fun with a toddler. Okay. So we're good to go. Let's get this part started. Let's go full table and get into the tutorial. Okay, so we're going to go here, and we're going to flip this here and here. Okay. There we go. Good. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alrighty, so normally I would tell you to start with any color but black, right? Today that is not the case. That is so not the case. So we're going to start with black. This is Deco Art Lamp. I think it's just called Lamp. It might be called Ebony Lamp, Lamp Ebony, something like that. I never know, because I put it in a bottle like this, because I get the big old bottle. I get that big old one. So I'm going to pull out Old Trusty. Oh, let me tell you what I've got for you today. Okay, since this is a virtual paint party, I have a present. It's a gift away for one lucky person tonight that comments on the live. I was like, it's a mini. And you know what? I was looking at one of my old videos from my farmer market days, and I remember I didn't like calling these interchangeables. I liked calling them charms. So I think I'm going to resurrect that, and we're going to call this a charm. So I've got one of my mini charms, and it is all wrapped up nice and pretty, and already got a package ready to go to the post office. So one of my very good friends here tonight that chats with me will be randomly selected to receive that in the mail as a little bit of happy mail. So just know that you might be randomly receiving a message from me tonight to ask you for your address. Just know I'm not being a creeper. I'm just wanting to send you a little bit of Happy Mail. Aw, how sweet, Cherish. I almost forgot about that. That's how flustered I am, y'all. It's like my husband said, thankfully he was on his way home. So thankfully the extra key was on its way. Like I said, we don't do a hide a key, so we were just kind of sitting. We were just kind of sitting like little sitting ducks. And when he pulled up, I mean, y'all know, we ended up getting in there before 7:30, right? Because I started before 7:30. And he pulls up. We were sitting out maybe 10 minutes. But, you know, I was flustered. I needed a minute, so I sat, drank me a little water, sat for a second, petted the dog, because that always makes me feel better. Have y'all ever done that? Watching from Hawaii. Oh, well, I just got done talking to my grandmother last night, my mama. Everybody here knows Mama. She is actually going to be getting on a plane next month to go to Hawaii. She has a lifelong goal to visit all 50 states, to be present, to have foot on all 50 states, and she is lacking one, and that is Hawaii. And so her and my Aunt Gloria and their daughters, so my aunt and Aunt Gloria's daughters, are going to Hawaii next month. I'm so excited for her. Like, she has talked about completing this task for years. Okay, so we have just plain old black, right? We're going to put plain old black on the head as well. So I am just on the chisel. We are going to be shading, so y'all don't think that this is going to be some old boring ladybug. No. No. Y'all know me. I can't leave well enough alone. We're going to throw some shading on this old lady. We are going to throw some shading on her, and we're going to do polka dots. What? Awesome. It's been very nice weather here. Oh, well, it has not been here. We have had finally 2 consecutive days without rain after what seems like a month of rain. I have been trying to treat my yard for those old pesky weeds. We have what's called stickers, and they're just like they sound. They are stickers. If you walk around barefoot, you get these little prickly things in the bottom of your feet, and it hurts. And my yard is just eaten up with them at the beginning of every spring. We treat the yard every year, but something happens, and every spring they're back. Clovers don't bother me. The stickers do. Which island? I'm on the Big Island. I have no clue which one. I'm assuming they're going to land into the Big Island. They're going to be there all week. So I have a feeling they're going to be island hopping maybe. At least within a couple of islands. When I had a home daycare and when I had bad spot, my dog always knew. And he would push against my leg. Romo does that. Romo is my puppy. Okay, so we have a dirty brush. I did dip it in black again. And I'm just putting a little bit of white on the very end of my brush, okay? I'm going to lead with the black. And I'm just going to line right up where the wing and the old ladybug booty is sitting. Okay, so I don't have enough black on my brush. So we added more black and some white. So I want a good bit right there. Now, I am going to clean my brush. I have 2 cups of water. I want you to know that because I'm messing with a lot of black tonight. So I have 2 cups of water to always maintain clean water. So I put more white on my brush, but it's a clean brush on the other end. And now we're going to go back and forth. I don't necessarily want to get much of that black into the wings because, let's be real, it's going to be really hard to do touch-up and cover-up. And now I'm just going to bring it down. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of black, a little bit of white. We're just going to bring it down. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing on this side. Put black on our brush, put white on the very tip. And I'm a directional painter, so I'm going to turn it this way because I need the white on a certain side. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and do this. Now, since my base coat is dry, this could present some problems for me. okay? So if it does, I'm gonna take some blending gel. See if I can find my little bottle. I have a bottle out here. Ah, there it is. It's right in front of me. Nope, that's floating medium. This is my blending gel, okay? This is a lot like floating medium or matte medium acrylic. The other two are extreme, I mean, compared to blending gel, they're thick. They are as thick as paint. Blending gel is a lot more. Blending gel, ooh, I'm liking the way that it's going on like that. So let me catch it in the, yeah, we might go back and redo this one. Okay, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna put the other half in the blending gel. Floating medium can do the exact same thing except for it's thicker, so it doesn't go as far and it doesn't stay as wet as long. So if you live in a dry climate, then your paint probably dries a lot faster than mine, because I'm in Louisiana and mine dries, I mean, I could leave it out for a few minutes and it's still, I can come back and it's still gonna be wet. All right, so let's put it back in the white, and the other side that has the black gets the blending gel, okay? And we're gonna go around the buggy booty. That's just a fun word to say. The buggy booty. Here we go. My dog is probably digging and sniffing up dirt, and he is sneezing it. I can hear him. You probably can't, but I can hear him. All right, so I'm gonna just right here, just add a little bit more shading. I'm gonna bring it up. Just empty out my brush. Okay, there we go. So there's our shading. And if I wanted to, I could leave this alone and be completely happy with it, but I am not. I'm going to continue. So we've got this already base coated black, and it's pretty good coverage. So we're gonna go on and do the exact same thing on the head and just shade the outermost part of the head. So I have white on one corner, not a whole lot, just the corner. And I have blending gel on the other side. Like I said, you could use floating medium if all you can find is floating medium. But I am using blending gel because it stays wetter longer. And all it's doing, and you can use water too, but water can get very murky. Like I said, we're using a lot of black tonight, so every time I clean my brush, that water is dirtying up my clean water that some people like to use for shading, and I don't. You can for like little spots or to thin out some paint. Like if you want to make paint inky for like hand lettering or scripty little loop-de-loos or curly cues, that's fine. I don't mind using it for that, but it doesn't really do the same as these medium extenders. And that's exactly what blending gel is. It's a medium extender. So it's a paint extender. It extends the drying time of your paint. Matte medium and floating gel do the same thing, but they have different consistencies, and that's why you normally see them advertised even by the same brands as different things. I have found that the blending gel, this is my experience, I have found that the blending gel lasts the longest with the extending time. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of black and I'm going to go straight over this last little line here since we went a little further down. And I'm just going to kind of clean that up, okay? All right, now here's the other painful part of using a dry time extender. It takes a little longer to blow dry. So while I'm blow drying, I'm going to catch up on some comments. So y'all just chat away. Like I said, anybody who comments on the live tonight has an opportunity to win or be gifted a mini charm of this design. And then you can use the replay and paint along with me and paint your own version to either put on your interchangeable sign or to give away to a friend that might need a little bit of Happy Mail. Okay. Now, the only reason I want to make sure this is good and dry is because we're about to do some polka dots, and I am going to be shading those polka dots as well. I know some of y'all were like, we're painting a ladybug. Whoop-de-doo. No, this was totally intentional. I wanted to show you some really fun techniques. Okay, so Teresa, is it Teresa or is it Tressa? Because I have a friend that spells it like Teresa, but she pronounces it Tressa, and I always like to attempt to get everybody's name right. Hey, Brittany, isn't it cute? Isn't it super cute? Okay, Melissa. Oh, the mini is adorable, isn't it? So a lot of my friends who have placed blank orders this month got a little extra Happy Mail in their order, and I gifted them a mini charm in this design as well. And I was hoping, and I put in most of their packages. This is a sneak peek of the virtual paint party, so I was hoping they'd save it and paint it along with me. I love watching you paint. I will be cutting mine out in a couple of days. Looking forward to painting mine. Ooh, Sharon, I can't wait. I have just a few ladybug ornaments happening. Hanging off of the branches. That's fun. Do you have a seasonal tree like I do? I've wanted one for years, and now that I have a studio where my husband can't dictate that it drives him crazy, I decided we were going to do a seasonal tree in here. He's always said, just do it. You know, it won't bug me that much. And I'm like, yes, it will. And I'll have to sit and look at you be all sour-faced about why the Christmas tree is still up with Valentine's decorations. So when we finally got the studio, I was finally able to justify being able to have a seasonal tree. So I have a little mini, I think it's about a 2-foot tree. It might be a 3-foot tree. A little mini one over here behind me. Sometimes you see it. I'm going to go ahead and base coat this red because it will take multiple coats. So I'm just going to go ahead and slap a base coat on while we come back and do our polka dots over here. That way when we come back to this, our next coat can be our pretty shaded coat because we are going to shade this as well. Okay, so here we go. Oh, I'm gonna love it. So far, I've had a blast. Now, I haven't necessarily decorated it for the season, for the holidays. I've decorated it according to a random door hanger that I had sitting around. So right now, it's decorated for spring, and it was matching a spring door hanger that I had. So I've been having fun with it that way. And this might be our next door hanger that gets displayed up here. Okay, so the red that I'm using, now here's all the different kinds of reds that you can use, okay? You do not have to stay true to form with this ladybug when it comes to the colors, okay? Because there's all different motifs for red, white, and blue. So this was intended to be a patriotic ladybug, right? Just to take a normal ladybug and to show you all the different ways that you can paint her. I swear, you can take some of the most basic shapes, and I consider this a basic shape because there's no face to it. And there's some really broad parts to it to where you can really get fancy. So there's the traditional true red, true blue, and just stark white, right? That's what I call traditional. And then you've got what I call the vintage, kind of a vintage washout, where it looks like an American flag got tea stained or coffee stained. So so they're a little darker, a little richer. So you could definitely do like a navy blue instead of a royal blue. And you could do more of a brick red instead of this bright, vibrant red. Okay, so, ooh, that actually went on really good. I don't normally have good. This was Deco Art Primary Red. I normally don't have very good luck with reds going on really good in one coat, but that's only going to need like half a coat after this, which is good because that gives us, I should have base coated that white. You know why? Because red and white don't play well, and these are white stripes. We'll deal with it. It'll be all right. That red is gorgeous, isn't it? Isn't it? I try to decorate it monthly, but I decorate for all kinds of occasions. That sounds like fun. Like my sister just did a Titanic party at the living facility that she works at. She works at an aging home. And they just threw a Titanic themed party. It was their first big hurrah since COVID. And the Titanic party. So see, I have some Titanic memorabilia, not real stuff, obviously, but I'm a big Titanic fan, and I'm just enthralled with the whole story. I've even gone as far as to really learn about the ship and the building and all the conspiracies. There's a bunch of conspiracies around it. It's one of those things that just catches my attention anytime I hear about it. I collect all the Time magazines because there's always a Time magazine that comes out when it comes to the Titanic. I have a couple of collector's editions of Time magazines, and I have a commemorative plate. And my sister's like, "Hey, can I borrow some of your Titanic stuff?" And I said, "No." I mean, it was a very fast no. She goes, and I normally let her borrow whatever she wants to borrow for those things. She goes, "Why?" And I said, "Because." It's like that. I draw the line. She normally comes and borrows door hangers for decorations, and she'll come and whatever I've painted, and she'll normally ask me if I've got something. They've done an Elvis party. I love Elvis too, so that was another thing that she was like, "Can I borrow some Elvis stuff?" I was like, no. There's certain things that I just draw the line on. And that's it. Okay, so if you notice, I'm painting the rim of a cup, right? Specifically, if you're from Louisiana, you know exactly what kind of cup this is. This is a Mardi Gras cup. And I am using it, I need a little bit more white, to make polka dots, large polka dots. So if you struggle making large polka dots, this is a perfect way to make said polka dots without fuss. I would, and normally I would just run it through like putting sugar on the rim of a fruity drink, like you see all the fancy people do at restaurants. Or let's see if I can do it. No, because I can only get it in the black or the white. The reason I'm not doing it that way is because the way I have my paint palette set up, I can only get it in the black or I can only get it in the white. And I don't want a very crazy looking, out of control polka dot. I want just the ghost of a polka dot. I just want something to give me a circle so I don't have to freehand my circles. I have lots of those. Yup, Mardi Gras cups are the best. I use them for paint parties. Instead of bringing plastic cups, I reuse these because these get stuck in people's... Y'all tell me, did we have... I'm about to double check. I have to pull up my pictures. Did we have the head with polka dots? We did. Okay, hold on. Hold the phone. I had to double check my mock-up. I didn't print it this time. Normally I print. I'm going to regret putting black right there. Okay. If I can save the earth, if I can save the planet one plastic cup at a time, then I don't buy the solo cups like a lot of people do, because I have Mardi Gras, and Mardi Gras keeps me in Mardi Gras cups. So if there's anything that Mardi Gras is good for, it's supplying Erica with good quality paint party cups. I have some paint party cups that have lasted me my entire paint party career. All right, so it looks like I'm throwing black polka dots on an already black surface, but since we shaded the little ladybug booty, then we are technically painting on top of a textured surface, so they are definitely going to show up, okay? So if you notice, I put a little bit more white towards the edge of that. This is like ghosted polka dots, kind of like I show you with the polka dot daubers, but this is how you hand paint ghosted polka dots. Okay, I'm going to add just, and I just have a dirty brush, and if you have a hard time keeping your brush strokes inside a contained area like that polka dot, bump down in brush size. There's no shame in bumping down in brush sizes, just so that you can stay inside your line. So I'm just doing little, almost like creating a donut. I'm just going all the way around, and it's leaving kind of a donut hole right here, and I'm coming back and I'm filling that in. Okay, so there's 2 polka dots. Putting black, putting a corner of white. You do not have to use as much as I'm using. But I want that white to be the only white I put on my brush for each polka dot. I don't want to add any more paint to my brush for each polka dot. Uh-oh, I lost my comments. There they are. We use Mardi Gras cups for polka dots too. Nancy, then you're ahead of the game here. Okay, so far I've showed you how to shade simple outline shading. That's also called floating, because all we did was we took the base color and we floated a new color on the edge, the very edge, right? You can also do it with floating medium instead of putting the base color. So you saw how we put black on the brush and then we just put white on the corner. What we can do with a clean brush, if we didn't want to do that, is we could just put white on the corner and floating medium on the rest of the brush and float it in. That's why it's called floating, because it's kind of just floating on the top. So we are going to finish out our polka dots. And if you enjoy these paint parties, so I love paint parties, virtual paint parties. I do 3 virtual paint parties inside my paint studio every month. In fact, we're about to do the last one next weekend. And they're probably my favorite ones. Just because it's a bunch of ladies that get together. I teach them just like this. So if you enjoy this and you enjoy learning new painting techniques, especially how to do things a little faster, because I'm always trying to find ways of getting the same result, but getting it done a little faster, because let's be real, if you're doing this for profit, the longer you take on a design, the less money per hour you're making per design, right? So I'm always trying to find faster ways to do it right? I don't want any sloppy work going out there, right? To do it right, but to maximize your painting skills and to maximize your time spent creating, especially if you're doing it for profit. Because if you can paint 4 of these in the time that you painted one, well then one you can pretty up 4 people's doors in the same time, or you could have done just one, or you can maximize your, what is it called? Why is the word escaping me? Hourly wage, technically. If you were working for an hourly wage, that's what you're maximizing. You're maximizing your hourly rate. All right, remember, I'm a directional painter, so I'm having to constantly flip this girl around so that I can get my hand in the right position so that I can paint these polka dots to where they don't look funky. When you do shading, you don't necessarily want it to end up looking funky. You want nice, clean, crisp lines. That is way, way too bright of a white line. We're going to add a little bit more black. Ran out of black. Add a little bit of white. Okay. So, there we go. There we go. I'm so excited. Last polka dot. These kind of look like eyes. That's either going to be in my favor when we finish this one out, or that's going to look really off-putting because they're not the exact same size on the edge. No worries. All right. So there we go. Let me just clean my workspace off a little bit so there's no paint on the back. All right, so we already did our first coat, and this was a really good coat. I mean, there's very little, I mean, maybe half a coat that would be needed for full coverage. So our black is completely done. We're done with black. Well, at least black paint at least, okay? Let's see. Oh, you're finishing up on an elephant that came out of the clay of it. Oh, do you do ceramics? I love ceramics. I have a whole wall of ceramics over there that I've bought from a local ceramic shop for me to do just when I have downtime. Guess what I haven't had? I haven't had downtime. So they're just sitting there. Hey, Helen. How are you? All right, so I'm adding more of my primary red. Since we did those black polka dots, we're probably gonna see those. That's what I was worried about. Okay, so here's something I'm gonna be testing out tonight. Because you know how white and red don't play nice together? I'm going to make sure that my red is completely dry before I put my white on. Let's see if that helps. So my right hand has been going numb, and I'm right-handed. I'm getting a little upset about that. Okay, Cherish, do you cut with a jigsaw? Yeah, I'm so excited. I was wondering if it sends you notices. Okay, so if you enjoy doing this with me every week and you would like more, because in the studio I go way more in depth. If you would like more of tutorials like this, where it's way more in depth and I teach you a lot of fun techniques that save you time, comment the word studio and I will come back after the live and drop not only the link to this ladybug, because a lot of people had a lot of trouble finding the template to the ladybug, but I'll also drop you a link so that you can join our paint studio community. We have a bunch of fun. We also started doing a monthly Zoom brainstorm session where we go over a business. If you have a business where you sell your door hangers or you do paint parties, we go over like a topic every month where we try to help move the needle for you to gain just a little bit more progress in your business. Try to get it at a slow pace so that you can really grasp what you're doing and you can replicate it. So there's two different versions. There's two different objectives to the studio. One, to have so much fun painting together, and two, to have a community of like-minded people who have similar businesses so that we can lean on each other and support each other, and also brainstorm together every month so that we can help better each other and be a stronger community. Because, you know, in the store hanger world, we are totally community over competition. We are not like Walmart and Target where we're always fighting for the customer, right? We know that there's plenty of clients out there for all of us to enjoy painting and making pretty doors. All right, so I just did some cover up, and now I'm going to do my last final coat on the wing, and then we're going to start painting that white, and then we're going to shade the white. And it's going to make this ladybug, it's just going to give it so much texture, so much dimension without having to do a whole lot of work. It's going to add a lot of visual interest so that when people walk up on the door, they're going to be like, that's a very pretty ladybug. Like, it's simple, but there's something just pretty about it, and they won't be able to put their finger on it. But it's just because you took those couple of extra minutes to add just the tiniest little bit of shading. Shading can really make it pop. There's nothing wrong with color blocking. And I do it like this right here. This is color blocking. We utilize color blocking all the time. And it's fine. You could totally stop here. But if you wanted to take it to that next level of visual interest, a little bit of lazy shading thrown in there or a little bit of floating makes it super, super next level. Okay, so in the studio, let me tell you what we've been doing. So we started April we started the new brainstorm where we get into a Zoom together and we brainstorm and we work on one business task a month. This month was time management. We all got our rear ends into gear and we are getting our time under control so that we can manage our businesses better and more efficiently and stop chasing our tails like puppies who don't know what they're doing. Like we're all just kind of doing this number and wondering what's our next step. So we're working on our time management this month so that we know what our next step is. So now when we wake up every morning, we're not wondering what is on the agenda today. We already know. Next month, we're going to be working on finishing up time management because it's a 2-part series on time management. And at the end of the month, we're going to be working on our actual page. So it's going to be so much fun. And we do it together. And what makes the studio a little different is that I'm not a coach. I'm totally not a mentor. I'm not a coach. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I'm a peer. So it's a peer-to-peer led brainstorm session. And we don't talk business all the time. So it's totally a paint party experience in there. It's fun and games. We have a great community of people who support and love on each other. And so when we get to the Zoom during the month, we have this appreciation for each other because not only can we party together in the paint parties, but we also can put the notebooks and the pens together and we can start helping each other get over the hurdles that we all have. Some of us have craft shows that we're going to right now and we don't quite know how to set up our booth. Some of us are trying to get back into the paint party game after being out for a year. So we're all helping each other there. So that's kind of a taste of what we do. So if you're interested in more information on the studio, I do have the doors open for new members this month. And all you have to do is comment studio, and after the live, I'll come back and I'll send you a link so that you can register. So every month we get 3 new designs, 3 new tutorials. I go in total depth of how I would paint them. And I teach them as if I'm teaching a paint party, just like this. And I over teach everything. That way you who's watching it, if you decide to use this as a paint party, then you know exactly how to run this particular paint party. That way you can take notes, you have access to the mock-up, you have everything you need to be able to do a paint party on those 3 designs. And you have the tutorial to go along with it so that you're not just guessing at it. So a lot of the designs that we purchase to do paint parties with, we're just kind of guessing at it, right? Because not every design comes with a tutorial. Well, every design in the studio comes with a tutorial. Like I said, we also have the brainstorm every month. And we also have what's called a maker mover. So the maker mover is a task every month, which this month it was a time management task. It's something that if you implement it, you should see progress in some form. So this month, the progress should be that they should be able to find little pockets of time that they didn't realize they have. Or they should be able to identify pockets of time that they are totally wasting profitable time. So we did a needle mover, and I call them maker movers because it's a moment, it's a task that should make the maker move. So to get moving, to make progress. So we have a maker mover and we have 3 designs and we have a Zoom brainstorm session. And then there's bonuses and then there's other tutorials like I teach you how I run a virtual paint party. There's a lesson on how I run an in-person paint party. They're where I discuss everything in detail and I have checklists. Let's see, what else have we gone over? And in the upcoming months, I have other tutorials that are going to be added to that catalog as well. Now, if you join us, I'm just going to ask for a little bit of grace over the next couple months, just because I am moving all the content from the units and guide section, because we have over a year's worth of content over there now. Isn't that crazy? And it's starting to get like really bogged down trying to search for what you want. So I'm slowly but surely moving a week of content at a time to our new system. And I'll tell you this right now. You don't have to leave. Like, it's the easiest way of doing it. Like, you don't worry about having to have a login for anything. It does not require a login. It does not require having to leave Facebook to do it. Like, it is the simplest process. That was something I always try to keep in mind. What's going to be better for them, being you, rather than what's more convenient for me. Is this the one I want to use? I'm curious. Give me just a second. I'm brainstorming this real quick because I know I said I wanted to use it, but I remember this is super, super bright. I think I'm going to use it. All right, so this is Ultra Deep Blue. No, I get this wrong every time because the name makes no sense. Ultra Blue Deep. It's the brightest navy blue you'll ever paint with. Super beautiful. We're going to use it. So let me get all trusty out, which is a 3/4 inch brush. Hey, lady, just now leaving the ball field. Lori, good night. It was a late game. Simplicity. Yes, it is simplicity. Did y'all see that? That was gross. Let's see. Eye searingly blue. Now, this is what I'm nervous about. I think this might be another little stinker that is going to dye my white stars. Kind of like I was talking about with the stripes over here that we're going to do. I think this blue is so saturated in pigment. It's so bright that it's going to seep through my wet paint. But I'm giving the red an extra couple minutes to dry so that when I go to do the white, hopefully it is completely dry and there's no paint that can seep up through the white, because that's normally how red and white act. Normally you have to paint the white first, and I just didn't follow my own rule. Paint the white first and then you paint red on top of it. But I was talking, this is what happens when you talk and paint at the same time. You're not paying attention. Don't you love it, Alma? I love it. I love red, white, and blue, though. I will be very honest. I believe okay, so my son's 13, right? I have dressed him in red, white, and blue since the day he was born. Now that he's old enough to decide what he's going to wear, I have stopped buying him what I want him to wear, and I let him pick out his own clothes within reason. But he would wear basketball shorts every day of his life if I'd let him. He would wear the exact same basketball shorts if I did not call him out on, are those yesterday's basketball shorts? He's that true 13-year-old. And it's like that it's like I love him, but I have to, like, if I can smell him before he gets within arm's reach of me, I'm like, before you come and hug me, you need to go take a shower. He's just at that age where you have to remind him, did you comb your hair today? It's like he's toddler again. And I knew it was coming because I grew up with 3 brothers. Like, they all just go through this phase of, I don't want to waste time taking a shower. That's wasting time. I could be doing other things. I get it. I totally get it. Like, I totally get it. But I'm a mom, and I don't totally get that. You know, like, I want to be clean. So, I kind of need you to not stink if you come hug me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shade this wing just a little bit. So, dirty brush, a little bit of white. We're just kind of playing here. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of blending gel to it. It's right here. It's in an unmarked container, so it's really hard to find sometimes. we go. A bit of blending gel. I just want this white to really just go on smooth. So the blending gel is going to help that extend, and look how smooth that went on. Did you see the very first application? And it's bringing that blue up into it. So it's blending it for me. So rightfully named blending gel. So I'm adding blending gel, I'm adding white. There we go. There we go. Oh, beautiful. Love it. Love it. I'm loving it. Doodle doo. Okay, so we've done this. We are not going to do that with the red. We're going to shade the red wing differently. So I just wanted to warn you about that ahead of time. So if you're painting the head, I want to warn you, that's not how we're going to tackle that red. We might. I might be lying. I might change my mind. I'm an artiste. We're allowed to do that. That's what I tell my husband. I was like, stop it. He's like, that's not what you said. Whenever I say that's, you know, when he comes home and what I said was going to be on the stove is not on the, he's like, that's not what you said. I was like, I am an artiste. I am entitled to change my mind when the creative bug strikes. Now I will, okay, so if you hear the clicking of the bottle, that's because blending gel self-levels so quickly that, because it's so thin, that by the time that you need it again sometimes, it has leveled so thin that your brush really isn't picking it up. So see that white? It's going on really, really, really bright and vibrant. So every time I brush over it, it's bleeding that blue into it. So it's almost like it's bleeding, kind of like painter's tape. But really, it's just blending it. It's extending the dry time. It's thinning out that paint. And it's blending it. Because it's thinning out the paint, it's extending the dry time. It's making the paint level out, just like it is on the plate. When you do something like this, though, you need to be hyper aware of how you lay your brush down. Because one flip of the brush, just one flip, right, can ruin the whole thing, because then your white's in the center. We don't want to do that. All right, I'm going to clean my brush because that blue is so eye-searingly bright. We want to make sure it's out of our brush. Okay, now, if I deepened the red, how would I go about doing it? I'm not a big fan of adding black to red. So I think if I add a little bit of brown to the red, so let's add a little bit of brown. So we're going to put a little bit more of our primary red. Let me pick a good, my favorite brown in the Deco Art line, Mississippi Mud. I have fallen in love with this. I have absolutely fallen in love with this color. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit. Y'all don't judge my paint palette. There's my red, there's my Mississippi Mud. I'm going to just kind of do this, and I'm just kind of, I don't know if that's going to be deep enough. That might not be deep enough. Mississippi Mud, you let me down. Hold on, we've got another brown. We have to have another brown. We need one just darker. Maybe milk chocolate. Maybe milk chocolate. Doodle doodle doo. I do have an apple barrel that's called Barn Red. That's not going to be in the same color family. Okay, so when I mix colors, I prefer to mix colors rather than buy a million different paints that I can shade with. I'd much rather create the paint that I'm going to shade with than buy extra paints. Okay. Looks like we're going to be mixing it with black. That's okay. Because I have talked myself into shading it. So let's mix it with black. Brown would have been a more subtle shade. But we can do it with black. Okay, so literally like 3 bristles. It's like, y'all see how much black I put on that? Just like ever so, that's actually a lot. Okay, there we go. There we go. We're just gonna, it's a lot. I'm just gonna, like 3 little bristles, and we're gonna add it over here. All right. And again, floating medium or blending gel. I'm gonna put it on the red side of our brush and leave the shaded side alone. Now the proper way to shade like this is with an angle brush, but I am a firm believer in if I can get it done in with one brush, I'm gonna attempt it. I'm totally gonna attempt painting a design with just one brush. And this is a simple design. So one brush, be one and done. I'm not gonna have to clean a bunch of brushes tonight. I'm just remixing that black. Oh, I kind of like what I just did there. Okay, so I mixed a little bit of that Mississippi Mud in with the black and the red, and it gave me the color I was wanting. And then I'm putting that blending gel on the opposite end of my brush that has the red on it. It's red, black, a little bit of Mississippi Mud. Okay, and then since it is getting kind of like a, okay, so do you see this right here where it's kind of like a Morse code sign? Like it looks like Morse code sounds. I put more blending gel on my brush. I did not add more paint. I added more blending gel. And that should work itself over there. Okay. I'm going to clean my brush because I did get that shaded color in the entire brush. So I'm just going to start over. Little red, little black, little Mississippi Mud. Blending gel on the red side. Go. Sorry, I started hyper-focusing, started really paying attention to what I was doing, and I got quiet. So y'all don't forget that I'm going to be gifting away a little mini charm size, which is an attachment. So it's about, I think it's 8 inches, 8 or 9 inches. I can never remember what size I do them. I always have to go back to an older file and see what I sized it to on my laser. I'm like, oh, how big do I do it? And I think it's 9 inches, to be honest. I think for certain clients I did smaller, and I think 8 was what fit their sign that they already had. So I think that's why that sounds familiar to me, but I believe I do mine 9 inches. All right, there we go. So we have a shaded wing. Now remember, blending gel is a dry time extender. So we're going to want to fully blow dry this before we start painting anything else, because remember, red and white do not mix. We want it completely dry. So let's go ahead and do that. While I blow dry, I'm going to catch up on some comments and answer any questions if you have it. I love the mud added in there. Doesn't it look good? It toned that black down just ever so slightly. Mississippi Mud Cherish is my favorite brown. I discovered it during COVID when all the browns were bought out and Mississippi Mud was still there. I've used it maybe once before. That blue and the white, right? Isn't it beautiful? That blue, I love that blue. I forget how bright it is, because I'm going to tell you right now, that little sticker that they put on there, this is one that lies. It's brighter than that in real life. Brighter. But it's still a navy blue. It's such an oxymoron. Like, it's like, it's navy blue, but it's bright. Oh, it's super pretty. Thank you, Cherish. Karen. I love it too. I've been waiting to paint this. Like I said, I dress my baby boy in red, white, and blue, and I fight it with Raylyn all the time. I'm like, no, she's a princess. Let her be a princess. All right, so I'm just thinning out the little edge right here. Little edge right here. And it's going to take a while for this to dry because, like I said, it's the job is to extend it. It's not just boys. My 14-year-old daughter does the same. Miranda, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Girls are gross too. Teresa's like, I'm not the only one. Yes, no, my son, yes. And I love him. Like, he is my heart. He is my soul. Like, my baby boy, me and my baby boy have a bond that is like no other. I will fight any other mom that will say that their mother-son relationship is better than ours. I'm like, no, boo. I'm going to tell you right now, me and my baby are like this until we're not, remember? Because he's a teenager, so we're going to reach that year. We're going to reach it. I just know it. I'm dreading it. But so far, we haven't reached it. We're like this. Hey, Roxana. I'm telling y'all, y'all are going to love the studio. If you have a small business or if you do this as a hobby but you sell your door hangers to fund your hobby, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. We have so much fun in there. And we have, I'm telling you, there are some ladies in there that are just the best cheerleaders. They really do love on the community in there. I don't deal with any drama. I shut it down. I don't appreciate it, and I won't have it. I'm gonna add just a little bit of blue to this because the blending gel is not wanting to dry, so I'm hoping some straight up paint. The pigment in the paint will act as a drying agent. Sometimes that happens, so let's do that. I just want to go right over the dry line. I'm not getting close at all to our shaded area. I'm just going over the dry line where the edge of the brush stopped. So it created like a little dry line, and the blending gel is not wanting to fully dry. This was an order I was painting. I just set this off to the side and move on to another order and come back after that was dry. Sometimes I let them sit overnight, just depending on how many I have to do. Studio is awesome, but Erica is more awesomer. Dana, I love you. Renee, Erica, I will have to post my ladybug gnome in the group. I changed it up a little bit. He is so cute. I love that little ladybug gnome. I'm telling you, every time I've seen him, he has been just precious. I'm glad I did two versions of that one. Like I did just the gnome itself because I figured people love just the gnome. That's a big trend for me. Just the gnome, like just the gnome as a theme. Okay, remember, I'm a directional painter, so I'm going to pull these stripes towards me. I'm going to get me some clean white because look how my white got contaminated. So we don't want cross-contamination. So we're just going to go ahead and put some clean white on the palette. I'm going to pull Old Trusty, but I'm going to grab a different Old Trusty just because there's so much blue and red paint in the other one. I'm just tempting fate for that to creep back into my white paint. So Old Trusty, if you're wondering who Old Trusty is, it is my 3/4 inch Royal and Lane Nickel Big Kid Choice Brush. I love this. Royal and Lane Nickel, if you go to Michael's, if you go to Hobby Lobby and you buy the blue handle brushes that everybody has, then Royal and Lane Nickel is the brand that makes that brush. And they also have a style of brushes that are made just for kid crafters. But you know what they're amazing for? Painting on wood. For wood door hangers. They don't get all junky. The bristles stay nice and stiff. as long as you clean them regularly, you know what I mean, often enough. As long as you clean them often enough, you should. I've had some for a few years now. I discovered them a couple of years ago for paint parties just because they were color coded. That's one thing I absolutely adore about these brushes. And I am not, what is that called? I'm not affiliated with them. Like, I don't get any money for talking about them. I just like, whenever I find something good, I tell my people. I like to spread the good news, whether it's Jesus or a good brush. And let me tell you right now, this is a good door hanger brush. Now, would I use these for fine arts? No, because I do like to do some decorative painting. But I would not use these brushes for decorative painting. I would use a more natural fiber bristle, like a sable. I love my sable brushes for decorative painting. All right, so that's my first coat of white. I'm going to do 2 coats. Maybe. Yeah, because there's some patchy spots. I'm up on the chisel and I'm just pulling towards me to get a nice, clean, straight line. Emptying out the majority of that paint off of my brush. Pulling towards me, nice, clean, straight line. Smooth it out. No paint ridges. I'm not one that's a stickler for paint ridges. They don't bother me. They don't bother my clients. As long as it ends up looking beautiful, I don't care if there's a little paint ridge. My clients don't mind if there's a paint ridge, as long as it's how they expected it. Now, there's a difference between a paint ridge and a paint mountain. Paint mountains are just, no. No! Knock it down. Knock it down to a rolling hill. There we go. Okie dokie. There we go. All right. I'm going to blow dry that and do a second coat. I need to paint this one. I'm telling you, Renee, this one's been fun. I'm enjoying it. Amanda says she loves those brushes. Cherish is loving her big head brushes. Cherish is using them now. And I remember when she told me when she finally got one, I was waiting. I had to go get clean water. These colors are so pretty and dark. I'm telling you, Tina, this dirty, y'all, look at my water. My water is black. But here's my clean water. You can't tell because there's paint on the outside of my cup. That's clean water. I'm going to tell you, this right here, this is a trooper of a cup. This one's been to many a paint party. There's so many layers of dried paint on the outside of that cup. With the Mardi Gras cups, the paint does not come off. Even if you put them through the dishwasher, it's stuck on there for life. So you get very decorated party cups after a while. All right, y'all, don't forget, if you love more information on the studio, on the paint studio, where we do 3 paint parties a month, in depth, with techniques, and we go over a group brainstorm and a maker mover moment. Which is a needle mover for small businesses or hobbies that like to sell their art. So if you have a craft fair booth, if you have a boutique booth, or a what are they called? What are they called whenever it's not a flea market? I don't know. I call them boutique booths, where you have like a display somewhere, whether it's at a hairdresser salon, or if it's at a local boutique where they sell boutique clothing. Sometimes they'll ask a local artist to display their art. I've been asked a few times by boutiques to come display my art, and I'm not against it. I just haven't had the time to go and, scope it out to see if that's where I want to have it. You got to make sure that their location is the right for your designs. If they have a very farmhouse style boutique and you have very modern artwork, obviously y'all don't fit together, right? So I haven't even gone to look. I need to make that time. Consignment, yes, thank you, Cindy. Consignment shop. Crafters markets, yes. If you have a crafter market booth, or you like to do craft shows, we talk craft shows. So there's a lot of this and that at the market. Yes, I'm telling you. Okay, there we go. There's a lot of drying in this one because we want to make sure that every layer is completely dry. All right, so here's the fun part. We're about to bust out the blending gel again. We're going to go white, just a little bit of black. Okay, let me see if I can demonstrate. Y'all see that? Not much, okay? And then on the white side, we're gonna grab that blending gel. So that blending gel is sitting right on top of that white. Make sure this is nice and dry. And I'm just gonna go ahead and float that on the very edge. And every time I pass over it, it's gonna blend it out. And it's floating on top. Like I said, there is something called floating medium. It's thicker. And so it doesn't blend it out as thin as this. So if you're just wanting a nice little haze of an outline on the bottom, I'm just going to stick to the bottom and the side. I'm not going to go all the way around the white. I'm just going to stick to the bottom and the side. I might go around this side just so it matches up. I don't know, I haven't decided. I need to finish this part and step back and look at it. The blending gel is just, it extends it even more to where the little bit of paint that I put on my brush, it's literally floating it from one end to the other. There's so many different ways to shade and to add visual interest. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my finger. You need to make sure you have no paint, which I do. I'm just gonna kind of clean that edge up a little bit. That's totally an optional step. You do not have to do that. Okay. Remember, we're gonna go up. And we're gonna bring it around. So I wanna curve that out. So I'm gonna go all the way down and around. I'll float it that way. I'm gonna add a little bit of black to this very end because I want it to be a little darker right here on the edge. Yeah, I love it. I'm gonna leave it alone. You have to learn how to tell yourself, stop, you've done enough. Okay. All right, so now all we have to do are the stars. I'm gonna sit and look at that. If this starts peeking out at me and I need to shade the very edge of this, like right here, I'll do it, but I need to look at it for a little while. Tell me if you think I do, if I need to add some shading right here. Just say yes, add shading, or it needs more. Just let me know. What do you think? You need a small size for your welcome sign? Well, hopefully this one will be sent your way. Hopefully. All right, so we're gonna bump down inside. We are gonna change brushes now because these stars have a lot of peaks, right? So there's a lot of sharp corners in these stars. I'm so scared about this white on top of blue. I'm just so, y'all don't even know. I wanna use an angle brush. I'm using the medium orange of the Big Kid Choice brushes. And I'm getting right up in that corner of the star. You know what? If the blue peeks through, I'm just going to call that a hidden blessing. I'm just going to call it, okay, because it's already starting to happen. And I'm just going to say that was intentional shading. We're just going to work with it. If Lauren's still watching, I know she just sang Missy Elliott with me in my head. We're gonna work it because it's gonna work. It's gonna be worth it. We're gonna flip this star down, flip it and reverse it. Anytime we would say, if we were hanging out drinking coffee together, if someone said, I don't even know if it's worth it. The other one, I mean, without a bit, we would check each other's forehead if someone missed a moment. If someone said, I don't know if it's worth it. I was like, but can you work it? Can you flip it and reverse it? It was a sin if one of us missed it. Okay. Now the trick to that, if this is going to happen and happen right, like I said, we're going to call it a hidden blessing if this starts bleeding through once we seal this, because you know that can happen. We're going to say we need to make sure everything's nice and flat. No ridges, nothing like that, because usually that's where it happens. It's in the ridges. It's all in the ridges. It's looking so gorgeous. Love the template. Is this on your website? Okay, so Catherine, yes and no. So the blank is on my website. I did not add the template quite yet because I have it for free for you over, I'm going to just, why don't you just say event. Say event, and I'll link the template down for you so you can get access to the template. It is actually in the events about section where it is linked for you to be able to find the blank if you want to buy a blank, or if you want the free template. I didn't want to put it in my shop to purchase quite yet while we were doing the paint party. I wanted everybody to have an opportunity to get it for free while we were doing the paint party. So if you just put the word event, then I will give you the link to gain access to this for free. But we got to do that before the end of the month. So if you're watching this and it's past April 2021, then the free virtual paint party has ceased to exist. It's over. I'm so sorry. But at that point, I'll add it to the shop. And so if it's past April 2021, then you should be able to find this in my shop, Wallace House Designs. With an S. Wallace House Designs with an S. And just search the printable templates for Ladybug, and I promise you, you'll be able to find it. Okay. There's 2 stars. Oh, look. This one's going to be my favorite star. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Boop. Boop. And I painted away from myself. Y'all, that's skill. That right there. Hold on. I got to straighten it up now because I kind of jacked it up because I got boastful. This is what happens before. Okay. So I'm just putting the very tip of what some call the toe, what I call the front or the long side of the brush. Because if I was at a paint party with people who don't paint on a regular basis, they're not going to know what the toe and the heel is. I like to break down my paint parties in very simple terms. Like, I don't want you to have to think, what does she mean by that? If you have to say that, what does she mean by that? Then I didn't do my job. I want it to be the funnest experience without having to overthink it or waste your energy on trying to figure out what I said when you should be having fun. So, I just say the front or the long end, but it is technically called the toe. This is called the heel. I promise you all the fine art painters are cringing right now when I say, I don't care. They're like, no. Okay, I think we got all the stars. I think we're good. Worst case scenario, we seal this and those stars get kind of funky colors because the blue, the white, and the sealer didn't play well together. Then all we'll do is we'll come back over through the sealer, like just slap it on top of the sealer, just throw new stars on there and reseal it. Okay, so y'all, look at there. Guess what? Okay, so did y'all tell me that we needed some shading on the side? Do we need shading on the side? Now, if you want more information on the studio where we do paint parties 3 times a month, You get exclusive use. So all the templates that are in the studio are exclusive to the paint studio. So I've been trying to bat around the idea of if I'm ever going to release them to the public, and I think I'm not. I don't know. I told myself in the beginning that they would only become available to the public a year after they've been released to the studio. So the studio gets a year's exclusive use of templates that are released to them. So the templates that were released in June of 2020 will not be released to the public until June 2021. So you'll never know what's going on in the studio unless you're actually in the studio. What we also do in the studio is we do a brainstorm every month. We just started that this past month, and I have had amazing feedback from the ladies in there that says it has helped them really think in depth about how they operate and how they do, spend their time inside their business. Or if you have a hobby where you sell your art to fund your art, or if you sell your art at craft shows, farmers markets, places like that. We talk shop all the time, even when we're doing paint parties. So the paint parties are set up so that I teach you how I would teach them at a paint party so that you could turn around and teach them at a paint party. So if you would like more information on the studio, just comment studio and I will drop a link so that you can register for that as well. It's $30 a month, reoccurring. You can cancel anytime. And like I said, the templates that are released each month are exclusive to studio and studio alone for at least a year, if not longer. The content in there's how to run a paint party, how to run a virtual paint party. We just went over time management, and it was so much fun. We had so much fun going over time management, especially in the Zoom. I feel like the edge of your star is missing. Is there one on the inner wing? See, I'm trying to think. I don't see one. You mean like right here? Feels like there should be a peak of one there, huh? Y'all don't make me, you're going to make me freehand-it. Don't make me do that. Don't make me do it. I'm going to do it. Don't do it. It's like that TikTok. Y'all ever watch TikTok and she says, girl, don't do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm just thinking about it. I did it. It's one of my favorite ones. I will stop and watch every time I hear the sound of it. I'm like, oh gosh, what did she do? Usually it's a haircut or something, but sometimes this is really funny. Oh, does it look weird? Does it look weird? Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it alone. Okay, there we go. I think she means on the star edge. On the star edge. Well, it's too late. I added one anyways. The painted one. The painted star. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there would be a fifth one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just one. I am so confused. The leg of the star on the left of that. Lori, my friend. I have no clue what you're talking about. I know you will screenshot this and circle it. Hold on. I'm going to hold it there. I'm going to hold it there because this is my stopping point for this wing. I want you to screenshot what you're talking about. And I want you to send it to me in Messenger with it circled because I have no clue what you're talking about. Okay. So, and I know she will because she does it all the time. Okay. So, yes, the second one you counted. You're talking about like right here. The bottom right. This would be the bottom right. No, this is bottom right for me. I think I know what you're talking about. I think. And look, I think I'm going to fix it. Is this fixing it? Please tell me this is fixing it because my brain is broken now looking at it. You know when you stared at... Yes, Jerry says yes. Okay, everybody's saying yes. We also have an extra one right here that may or may not look off-putting. I don't know. Okay. Woo! All the hearts. All the hearts. I think they're all Lori. She's like, finally. Thank you, Jesus. She sees it. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and shade this. It's starting to bug me now because I think that the edge needs shading no matter what. All right. So we are going to add, I'm going to use my angle brush just because it's what's in my hand. Be super careful with it because dipping that one corner in the black is going to be hard without getting the rest. Ooh, there's some red. There's some red in my brush. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. See? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean that off. I'm going to put it in the clean water because I knew I was going to need some extra clean water. There we go. I know where the red came from, so I'm going to wipe it up because the beauty about blending. Whoa, let me show you that. Oh, man, perfect example. Blending gel. Remember, it's a dry time extender. Watch this. Y'all are going to... What voodoo magic just happened? What in the holy hamburger? What? Boom. Baby wipe. Down. Just throwing in the towel. Look at that. Okay, sorry. I just had to show you all that. It's those moments where I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you so much. Okay. It was just really stark. I did not like that. So we're going to restart. Add a little bit of black. A little bit of blending gel. But we're going to get some clean blending gel because there was red in the gel. There we go. Put it on the white side. Ba-bam. All right, there we go. Okay, I'm going to brush off my brush. Add just white. I see where the red's coming up now. Y'all see where the blending gel just really makes a huge difference in being able to do cleanup, being able to do shading. I feel like I'm going to have to do this top edge too, and that's okay. We can do that. We can do it. Y'all, this one went so fast that I don't mind spending a little extra time doing all the extras. Okay, we're just going to add blending gel. I have plenty of paint on my brush. I just need it to extend to the end. That rhymed. That was unintentional. It was unintentional. We got it. There we go. I like it. I'm glad we spent the extra time. I'm going to fix that with just red. You're doing awesome. Oh, thank you. Holy hamburger. Yep, Lori caught it. That was not planned. That was not. Okay. Started concentrating. I get quiet when I concentrate. There we go. Now let's do this last edge and we should be done. Fini. Fin. All the things. Every language. Put a fork in it. It's done. Here's that baby wipe. Let's grab our brush again. Whoops. Uh-oh, now the brush is hiding from me. Where'd it go? There it is. The small angle brush, which are the orange ones, and the medium angle brush, the handle of it, they're the same size, so I always lose it. when I put them in the paint cups together. I'm like, okay, which one are you? There we go. I feel like that added a lot of character that it needed. It needed it. Just kind of blending that harsh line together. There we go. Much better. Done. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so vintagey looking. I love it. I'm not going to do any shading to the stars just because I kind of want to see how this blue and this white are going to interact together because that's a test. I want to know. Just because I've never put white on top of this to where it was going to affect the sealer. Okay, y'all. Let's go. Let's do an overview. Y'all ready? Are we backwards? Are we backwards? I don't think we're backwards. Oh, my hair gets all kind of in my collar. Oh man, my nail just scratched it. Hold on. Hold the phone. Stand by. Stand by. My nail just scratched it. So we're just gonna go here, here, blending gel, redo this black right here. Okay, to clean it up. Nail scratched it. All right. How's it look? How's she look, y'all? You can barely tell the polka dots, which is intentional, but you can tell them in person. It's a lot more noticeable in person. The camera's just not picking it up, but look at that. Y'all, look at that blue and that red. Ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-bam. I love it. I'm loving it. I love the dot at the head. It looks like dented in the eyes. Ooh, I like it. I was trying to make sure, okay, so the reason why I didn't do like eyeball, because I didn't want them to look like eyeballs. I didn't want the polka dots to not look like polka dots. You know what I mean? Like the polka dots could have totally been like extra maybe eyeballs, maybe polka dots, but I didn't want them to be considered eyeballs. I wanted them to be definitely polka dots. And now I'm seeing that they could have gone either way. So, yeah, I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. This is so cute. And you look, oh, thank you, Francis. I put makeup on today because I took a shower. Talking about showers and teenagers, right? I'm a mom, so a shower is sporadic. I get one, but it may be in the morning. It may be later at night when my husband comes home because I have a toddler, and there's no telling when my shower gets time is available. I love the earrings. Thank you, Lisa. Maria from Maria's Little Crafts or Little Maria's Crafts. Maria, what's the order? Is it Little Maria? I don't have the card in here. It's in my bathroom because that's where I took these out. The packet. Look, okay, so purple cow on the back and all of my favorite colors on the front. All of my favorite colors. Ba-bam. She did an amazing job. Love them. And I love that they're reversible. I love it. So I can just have purple or I can have that. I love them. Little Maria's Crafts. I thought it was Little Maria's Crafts. All right. Bam. I love it. Okay. So let's recap. I am probably going to send out that very creepy text of, hey, can I have your address? Because I'm going to probably send, not probably, I am. It's already got an envelope ready to go. Jerry, don't come for me. I love you. I've already got it wrapped up, ready to go. It's just waiting on an address, and it's going with the post office run that I'm going to randomly make tomorrow. I usually go on Tuesdays and Fridays, but we're going to make a random Wednesday drop as well. Did I mention how excited to see you? Yay! Francis and I are going to see each other at the end of the month. So if you're near, it's not Carlson. Put the town because it's not Memphis. I've been telling my sister Memphis or Nashville. I've been telling her a big city. And I'm like, no, it's outside of that one. So I'm going to be guest teaching at Francis's event at the end of the month this month. And we have the cutest design. Let me show it to you. I made it specifically for her event. Goodness. That's how you know I've been talking too long. Okay. And this is kind of a sneak peek. It's a sneak peek because it will eventually be a template to Wednesday release or an Erica's Template Tribe release. But this is what we're going to be painting at the event. Oh my goodness. It's called the Creative Click Retreat. It's a 2-day retreat. And it's at the end of the month. Y'all should highly consider coming. It's going to be a blast. And I'm going to be there. Okay. Let me get back to my live so I can catch up on comments. Clarksville, that's where it is. Clarksville, Tennessee. I was thinking Carlson. I don't know. New from Michigan. Well, hello, Jennifer. I am so excited that you came and spent some time with us. Thank you for sharing, Vicki. Thank you for sprinkling all the love throughout all the interwebs. It means a whole lot to me, and it means a whole lot to our friends to grow our community here. We teach painted door hangers, and we do virtual paint parties here. And I teach you specifically how to add shading to your designs to make them pop. So let's think about if this was color blocked, which would have been totally fine. Color block means one color, blocked color. So one straight blue, no shading. Just white stars, no shading. Red stripes, no shading. White stripes, no shading. No polka dots, or at least no fancy polka dots like our ghosted ones, right? So I teach you how to paint door hangers, but specifically to add shading and texture and extra elements to it to bring them to an extra level to up your painting game. I also, in the studio, I teach you how to maximize your time if you run a business or a craft hobby that funds itself, like a craft show or a farmer's market or a boutique booth, or if you do paint parties. I am a peer-to-peer brainstorm central in the paint studio as well. If you would like more information on the paint studio, just put studio in the comments and I'll come back with a registration link and more information for you. If you would love to come to the event that Frances is hosting this month, then I highly recommend you clicking over to Frances's profile and going to her Stitches and Stuff page and clicking on the events tab and registering for that as well. It's going to be a blast. We're keeping it small. We're going to keep it very COVID friendly. You know, none of us like that word. I don't like that word, but we're keeping it very COVID friendly just because we are on the tail end of it, and we don't want to ruffle any feathers, and we definitely don't want to tempt any fate, right? So we are going to definitely keep it small. I think we're keeping it less than 40. I think 30. I think we're keeping it at 30. So it's gonna be a small group, very intimate paint party weekend. It's gonna be so much fun. I think we're gonna do a brainstorm that night. So if you have a business, we're gonna do a brainstorm one night, and we're definitely doing a open paint party where we all come in our jammies and we finish up a project and just hang out and get to know each other more one-on-one. All right, so I so enjoyed every second of this. I cannot wait till the next one. Y'all don't forget to check me out on Tuesdays, usually at Tuesdays around 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where I paint a template till Wednesday, which is our BOGO sale every Tuesday and Wednesday, where I release new designs, and all designs go on sale, buy one, get one free. And I usually come that night and I paint with you, and I demonstrate one of the designs that was released that day. We didn't paint a template to Wednesday design because we had a virtual paint party tonight, which means sometime this month we're going to have a bonus tutorial of the winner of the vote. We usually vote on the designs that are released that week. So this week it was patriotic, baseball, and farmhouse florals, some summery farmhouse florals, and I believe the eagle won. So at some point this month, you can expect me to pop in, and Raylan might be with me just like we were last week, and we are going to paint the floral eagle quatrefoil frame, and it's gonna be so much fun because it's a lot like this one where it looks a little tricky, but I show you some really simple techniques to up your painting game to make your door hangers look extra special. All right, like I said, one lucky commenter, friend, viewer today is going to be gifted the cutest little ladybug ever. Look, a little mini charm size, interchangeable So if you get a creepy message, I'm not being a creeper. If I'm asking for your address, it's just because I want to send you some happy mail. So just send me your address and I will send you some happy mail. And then also if you want any more information on the paint studio where we do paint parties and we also talk a little bit of business as sisters, then put the word studio and I will drop down a link where you can register for the studio, where it's $30 a month for 3 designs exclusive to you for an entire year, and brainstorms, and a maker mover moment where you get a needle mover task to help move along your business at a manageable rate. All right, I enjoyed every second. I can't wait till the next one. I will talk to y'all later. See you later.